Alpharetta Jail, your position number is 7 on the calendar, sir.
All right, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
All right, we're ready to start.
It's gonna start with position number 7 at the Alpharetta Jail.
Okay. All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Judge Regina Mincing, and we're going to begin our Fulton County State Court Expedited Accusations calendar. This is a calendar for cases in which individuals have been recently arrested and charged with certain misdemeanor offenses. Soon after their arrest, the Fulton County Solicitor General's office has already accused these cases of the offenses brought against them, and the cases have been bound over to the Fulton County State Court. Nevertheless, this will usually be the defendant's initial appearance before a state court judge, so we are able to address several matters, including bond, possible arraignment, and a possible plea offer if one has been made by the state at this juncture. We'll also be providing individuals with a reset date, and that reset date for SAP is what, Ms. Strong?
June the 29th.
June 29th. All right, June 29th is our SAP day. I'm going to begin by advising everyone that this whole entire proceeding is being recorded as well as live streamed on YouTube, so govern yourselves accordingly. I want to remind the defendants on this calendar that you have certain constitutional rights. The first being that you have a right to representation at this juncture in your case. You should know who your attorney is by now, so listen to them. I also want to remind you that you have a right to remain silent. Anything that you state about the facts, the circumstances, and the occurrence of your case can and will be held against you at a later juncture. So be careful and listen to your attorney. All right, position number 7. And that is that Timothy Holloway?
It is, Judge.
Okay. And that's 23 CR 003862B. Got DUI, driving under the influence of alcohol, less safe, offense date, June 16, 2023, pretrial.
Second arrest, 2004, sale of cocaine.
Okay.
Yes, Your
Jake?
Honor. In this case, the defendant was charged with DUI, alcohol less safe. He was pulled over by Roswell PD. Upon making contact with the defendant, it was determined that the driver was a less safe driver. He was booked on this charge. State is asking for a $2,500 surety bond, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol, or driving while out on bond.
All right. PD Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Holloway is 42 years old. He was born in Florida and he moved here about 2007. He's been here for about 16 years in Georgia. Your Honor, he was the one who called 911 because there was another driver who was erratic in driving and he wanted to avoid that car and got into a accident, I guess. And then he was the one who called the police to get help. However, he was misunderstood as a DUI less safe. We would like to request for signature on bond. He is a driver, Pizza Hut driver. He does cashiers and all that kind of stuff. He does a lot of driving, Your Honor, and that's main source of income for him. And he graduated from high school. After that, he went to Job Corps. Your Honor, we would like to request for a signature on bond. Thank you.
State, were there was field sobriety done, or?
We only have the warrant right now, so I'm not sure if he refused or not. But that's all the information I have currently.
there was no test done whatsoever, Your Honor. He was not even offered to do it. He didn't even have a chance to deny or anything like that.
All right. I'm going to order a $3,000 signature bond. I'm going to order that signature bond through the jail. I'm going to order no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons or guns while on bond. And I'm a little torn, state, as it comes to no driving. I usually say no driving unless you have a valid license, and I don't know if his license were taken to go through the administrative process or just what the status is. I understand he drives for a living, but we just want to make sure there are no issues. They have muted him. And I don't know, PD Kim, if you want Mr. Holloway to respond to that.
Mr. Holloway, would you like to respond to the fact that will you be okay? Did the police take away your driver's license? Yes or no, please?
I'm sorry, say again.
Did the police take away your driver's license?
Not to my knowledge, I can double check my law.
Yeah. Yes, so Your Honor, we would like to continue the driving, and even the police probably think that he was not fully drunk, Your Honor.
Well, Your Honor, I'll just take the obvious. It looks like the defendant is still in his work uniform, which leads me to believe that this happened while he was on the job. So if he is a Pizza Hut delivery driver, and he was arrested for DUI, that's a serious concern of the state.
True. I don't think Pizza Hut would have him still driving if they learn of this charge. I generally say there's no driving except for court and coming to see your attorney, usually medical situations. And sometimes I include work, but I'm concerned I don't want anyone to be hurt out there on the road with it. And it's just that I don't have a lot of information to consider at this point.
My apologies, Judge. They did not take his license. He currently still has his license on him.
Okay. All right. I'm giving you the signature bond to let you out. I'm going to go ahead and allow, because I don't have any priors to consider with driving violations. You had nothing else on a driving history, correct, pretrial?
Right, yeah, no.
I didn't pull the driving history.
I checked it, Your Honor. I didn't see anything.
Didn't see anything. All right, I'm going to, Mr. Holloway, very cautiously allow you to drive while on bond only, and I'm gonna limit you a little bit for work, court, and to see your attorney, and any medical visits that you need to make, and any other time you need to be at home. If you were younger, I'd put you on a curfew, but I'm not going to do that. But I just wanted to be limited driving, and hopefully you will sort through this, and that I'm not putting someone back on the road, who may hurt others or hurt yourself. Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Car is needed.
Please, you do not say anything else, Mr. Holloway.
All right. Thank you. That concludes this case.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Position 4.
This is 23 CR 003855A, Linda Njima. 1 second, Deputy. I see some chat messages that PD Kim and Ms. McLeod have some defendants or clients that they have not spoken to. So we need to try to make sure we have a shorter calendar than yesterday, but I don't want that to hold us up if we can help it, so that they can interview them. And I'm assuming we have no one on today's calendar that needs an interpreter. Is that correct?
That's correct. But I also told Ms. Kim earlier that position number 1 was gonna be a reset.
Oh, okay. One is gonna be a reset.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, that's a
reset.
medical reset.
Yes,
That's correct.
Your Honor.
So we'll do that. Number one's a medical reset till Monday. And then I guess the other one is Williamson with Miss McLeod.
Yeah, he
So-
was transferred to felony court, if I remember correctly.
Oh. So that one is office lowercase
Never mind, Your Honor.
Williams.
Uh, Mr.
Um,
That was
Williams.
on the pre-indictment case because it was a vehicular homicide, but she did have private counsel, Jocelyn Williams.
uh-huh.
And then Mr. Clark, I understand it's gonna be a medical reset. I see someone on by the name of Kevin's iPhone. The victim in position 1, his name is Kevin, so I'm assuming that's the victim. So I just want, if the court would sound for the victim, we can explain as a medical reset.
All right.
Thank you.
Kevin on iPhone, are you here for the Connor Clark case? Kevin on iPhone.
Yep. Yes, I am.
All right, that case is going to be reset till Monday, same time.
Okay.
So you can sign off. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Position number 6 will be a waiver.
all right,
Position number 8 is a medical reset.
okay. And 8. All right, and I'm sorry I broke in the middle of that, but just trying to do some of the house cleaning issues. All right, we'll go back to position 4. 23 CR 003855A. Linda Njima charged with 1 count of battery family violence. Pretrial.
First,
Oh, you said that. I'm sorry. I just saw that in the chat. All right, first arrest, state.
Yes, good afternoon, Judge Missy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So this incident occurred June 15th, 2023 at 4938 Zoya Court in South Fulton. And this is where the defendant punched Mr. Orock Elias in the face, leaving him with a bloody nose. Your Honor, this incident started because the defendant's husband, Mr. Elias, told her that he was having a child with someone else. And so she asked the other woman to come and discuss what was going on. And after the woman left, Mr. Elias was upstairs in the bedroom, and the defendant broke into the bedroom and she punched him in the face. The defendant told the officers that she didn't hit him and that he instead, or an alternative, had allergies, which was causing his nose to bleed. But our office did speak to Mr. Elias, and he let us know that they have been together for 10 years and they have a 3-year-old daughter together, and they live together at the incident location. He let us know that they do not have a domestic violence history and that he's not afraid of the defendant. And he also told us that he did not want her arrested, nor does he want to press charges, Your Honor. However, the state, given that this happened 2 days ago, the state just wants to make sure that there is an adequate cooling off period between the two. So because of this, the state's recommendation is a $3,000 surety bond. We're asking for a 1-day anger awareness course, no further contact with Mr. Elias, and to stay away from 4938 Zoya Court, as well as no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. And we're asking for a one-time police escort so the defendant can get her belongings, Your Honor. And it looks like Mr. Elias is on the Zoom call, so I'd like to sound for him.
All right, Mr. Elias. Do you wish to address the court today?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, raise your right hand for me first. Do you affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, first question is, and I think I know the answer. Are you in fear of Miss Njima?
Can you say it again?
Are you in fear of Miss Njima?
No, no.
Is she your wife?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what else would you like to say?
I would like to say she didn't hit me. When she woke me up when I was sleeping, I realized I had a nose bleeding, so I thought she hit me, but she didn't hit me. And when I called the officers, when they came over, I was about to, because when I called 911, they said, if anything changed, let me call back. So I was trying to call back. They were so quick to come to the scene. So I tried to stop them. They said, no, right now they have to take her to jail. So yeah, I don't want to press no charges. She's never been to a situation like that, except when the lady came over.
All right, any cross-exam in ASG Bickerstaff?
No cross, Your Honor.
Anything, Mr. Coleman?
Got to unmute. Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I'll be requesting signature bond for Ms. Ojima. She does not have any criminal history based on her husband's representation. There is no history of violence between the two of them. My client is 34 years of age. She does reside in Fulton County. Ms. Ojima does have her master's degree. She's currently employed as a home health care worker. Again, first arrest, representations of the alleged victim that he is not in fear of his wife, and actually he denies that she ever even hit him. I'd be requesting a signature bond.
All right. I'm going to order a $3,000 signature bond. I'm going to do that signature bond through pretrial per judge. I'm going to order the one-day anger awareness course through pretrial. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. But my concern here is the cooling off period. At the very least, there seems to have possibly been an argument over a situation going on during their marriage. So, and I understand there's a 3-year-old child involved. And I'm assuming both parties reside at this 4938 Zoya Court.
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
Yes.
And Mr. Coleman, have you talked to your client at all? Does she have anywhere else she could stay?
I'd not asked her that question. I don't believe that she does. And again, considering that the alleged victim in this case stated that he does not have any fear of his wife and that there's no history of violence between the two of them, I'd be requested there be no further violent contact.
All right, I have the victim here. I'm going to order no further violent contact. I'm going to order, well, I guess that's it. No further violent contact, the one-day anger awareness course. And hopefully that will be all that's needed. Anything else, counsel?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Position number 10, Richardson.
This is 23 CR 003859C. Raquita Richardson, charged with 1 count of battery. Offense date is June 16, 2023.
11 total. Last was 2018, driving without a valid license, no load. 2010 probation. That's it.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant in this case has a cross defendant position 5. So if you don't mind, we could take up position 5 as well. The facts are the same.
Okay.
Okay. So, Your Honor, this incident occurred yesterday at 213 Fathom Road. And this is where Ms. Richardson told officers that she and her boyfriend at the time, the defendant in position number 5, his name is Eugene Jackson, were in a fight at her apartment because she wanted him to leave. And so they began fighting, and then the defendant, Mr. Jackson, took Miss Richardson's car and left the scene. And officers observed Miss Richardson having a busted lip and cuts on her hands from the altercation with Mr. Jackson. And then the defendant, Mr. Jackson, drove past officers while they were on the way to Miss Richardson, while other officers were on the way to Miss Richardson. And so they pulled him over and placed him in custody. Mr. Jackson told officers that Miss Richardson was the aggressor and that she had stabbed him. Mr. Jackson had visible scratches on his arms from the altercation with Miss Richardson. Your Honor, the warrant also notes that Miss Richardson and her friend were given an address to where her vehicle was. They came to get their vehicle, and Miss Richardson's friend got the vehicle and drove off from the scene, but officers arrested Miss Richardson. So for these reasons, the state's recommendation for both Miss Richardson and Mr. Jackson is a $3,000 surety bond, 1-day anger awareness course for both of them, no further contact with Miss Richardson, and no further contact with Mr. Jackson, and for Mr. Jackson to stay away from 213 Fabrum Road because that is Miss Richardson's address, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons for both of the defendants, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 44 years old. She is the mother of 3 children, one of whom is only 13 years old and who lives with her. So that's a big concern of hers because she was arrested to make proper arrangements for her 13-year-old. Your Honor, my client tells me that she was the one who called the police because she needed help, because the class defendant had taken her car after she asked him to leave her apartment. He had taken her car and she just called the police to get back her car. She denies that she attacked him and certainly that she stabbed him. And I would note, Your Honor, that the police report does not say that they said that he may have had some scratches on him. There is nothing about a stab wound. Given the fact that my client was the victim here, Your Honor, I would ask the court to consider giving her a signature bond so she can get out of jail to take care of her minor child. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. All right, I'm going to order the $3,000 signature bond through pretrial for judge. 1-day anger awareness course. I'm going to order no further contact with the cross defendant, Mr. Jackson. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And if there's any visitation with the children, that be facilitated by a third party.
They don't share any children, Your Honor.
Don't share any children? Okay.
No, Your Honor.
All right, then that will conclude my order.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Right.
Position 5, Mr. Jackson.
Okay. This is 23 CR 003856C. Eugene Jackson Jr. Charged with 1 count of battery, pretrial.
1 moment. All right, 24 total. Last was 2021, battery, touch or strike. That was in Florida, and that was dismissed. 2020 felony battery conviction, 2018 probation, 2017 marijuana conviction, and a 2013 DUI resisting an officer conviction.
All right, state.
Yes, so the facts are the same. The state's recommendation for The defendant is $3,000 surety bond, 1-day anger awareness course, no further contact with Ms. Richardson, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond, and to stay away from the 213 Fabron Road address.
All right. Mr. Coleman?
Yes, Your Honor, I'd be requesting signature bond from Mr. Eugene Emery. Despite his history, I only heard one conviction for a violent offense in that history. He is 41 years of age. He does have an address here in Atlanta, Fulton County. My client is a high school graduate. He's currently employed at TRC Staffing, the father of a 14-year-old child. I remind the court at this time that these are just allegations against my client. Again, we will be requesting a signature bond.
I'm going to order a $3,000 surety bond, considering the history. I'm going to order no further contact with Ms. Richardson. I'm going to order a stay away from 213 Fairburn Road. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And that's all I order at this time.
Position 13, Ms. Warner. Judge, I have an announcement. Position number
Yes.
12 bond was posted right before court started.
All right. 12 is bonded out. Okay, thank you. This is 23 CR 003861B, Jessica Warner, charged of 1 count of battery. The offense date is June 16, 2023. Pretrial.
8 total. Last was 2022, failure to appear. On probation and card, possession of a Schedule 1 controlled substance. 2022, got open cases in state court, simple battery DV, simple assault. It's 22 CR 006287B. 2 counts of disorderly conduct, 22 CR 006288B. That's it.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, the defendant is charged with battery. Law enforcement was dispatched to 109 Dogwood Drive in Atlanta, Georgia. They did speak with the victim in this case, of Mr. Larry Anderson, who is the defendant's stepfather. They were having a verbal disagreement about parenting. At the time, the defendant became violent with the victim and struck him in his lip. The officer did observe visible swelling. Based on the defendant's criminal history and due to having another open violent case in state court currently, the state is asking for a $3,000 surety, no further contact with the victim, Mr. Larry Anderson, and a stay away from the incident location, 109 Dogwood Drive in Atlanta, Georgia.
All right, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Warner is 36 years old and she's a single mom of 8 years old. Your Honor, she does have a new job. She completed fingerprint and police report, background check, and she was about to start her job. And yet she is incarcerated right now. Your Honor, she completed up to 11th grade and she has not been finished up the GED, and yet she's still pursuing it. Because of her financial situation, she has been unemployed from February 23. She is qualified for public defender services. So for her financial reasons, we would like to request for a signature on bond. Not only that, Your Honor, there was no independent witnesses. My client has a broken nose right now. She's the one who called for police. And she has a bloody shirt right now that proves that she was the one who was actually injured at that incident. She is kind of startled and surprised why she is the one who had to be arrested at this incident. We would like to request for a signature on bond so that she can come home and take care of her 8-year-old child. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to order that $3,000 surety bond due to the history. I'm going to order a stay away from 109 Dogwood Drive I'm going to order no further contact with Larry Anderson. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And that's all I'll order at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mhm.
Position 3, Dixon.
This is 23 CR 003865G Quintez Dixon, charged at 1 count of reckless conduct, pre-trial.
Third arrest, 2019 theft by receiving, 2016 possession of marijuana, possession of a Schedule 4 controlled substance.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. So this incident occurred yesterday at 1720 MLK Junior Drive. And this is where officers received a call in the area that the defendant shot a firearm in the direction of another person. Officers were not able to obtain the victim's name because the victim fled the scene. However, there is surveillance footage showing the defendant discharging a firearm in the direction of another. Considering how serious this incident could have been, the state's recommendation is a $20,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or firearms while out on bond.
All right. And you said the state's recommendation was a $3,000 surety bond?
No, ma'am, $20,000 surety bond.
20,000. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Coleman.
Your Honor, I'd be requesting a signature bond from Mr. Dixon, only third arrest. I didn't hear that he has any convictions for any violent offenses in his history. He is 24 years of age. He does have an address here in Atlanta, Fulton County. Mr. Dixon has his GED. He is self-employed, running a vending machine business. He is the father of 4 minor children. Again, I remind the court at this time that these are just allegations against Mr. Dixon. I will be requesting signature bond on his behalf.
And as far as were there any victims in this case, state?
Your Honor, so right now what we have with the warrant, it states that there was a victim, but that person fled the scene, so officers were not able to speak with them. But there is surveillance, they did see surveillance footage of the defendant shooting a gun in the direction of another person.
All right, I'm going to order a $10,000 surety bond. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. If defendant has any more guns, he should turn them over to the sheriff's department immediately and not have any guns in his possession while on bond, or be around any guns while on bond. I'm going to order that he not be around guns as well, or any weapons. And I guess that's all for now.
With the court considering lowering that bond, he's not going to be able to make this bond. I'm concerned that he will not be able to go to work and provide for his family if he's unable to get out.
Well, I'm concerned. I know we have the issue about guns. I'm concerned about the alleged actions. If he's bonded, gets a bond. Very concerned about the allegations. I'm going to leave it at the 10,000. Okay, thank you.
Position number 9.
This is 23 CR 003858D LaShallon Lagarde or Lagarde, charged with 1 count of battery family violence, pretrial.
Fifth arrest, 2021 battery. Case appears to be open. 2015 criminal mischief, disregard flashing lights or signals, criminal damage to property, and a 2013 theft of property conviction.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. So this incident occurred yesterday at 3648 Peachtree Road. And this is where officers arrived and they spoke with a Mr. Michael Martin, who told officers that his ex-boyfriend, the defendant, came into their apartment and started attacking him while he was sleeping. Mr. Martin told officers that the defendant punched him in the mouth, causing a laceration to his lip, and his lip was bleeding because of that. So the state's recommendation is a $3,000 surety bond, 1-day anger awareness course, no further contact with Mr. Michael Martin, and to stay away from the 3648 Peachtree Road address, as well as no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And we're going to ask for a one-time police escort so the defendant can get his belongings. Your Honor, our office was not able to get in contact with Mr. Martin. However, if he's on the Zoom call, just in case, I would like to sound for him.
All right. Mr. Michael Martin. Michael Martin. All right, go ahead, Mr. Coleman.
Yeah, I'd be requesting cinch bar for Mr. Lagarde. He has a limited criminal history. I only heard of 1 violent offense, which he was arrested for, which he has not been convicted of. He is 29 years of age. He does have an address here in Atlanta, Fulton County. Mr. Lagarde does have his bachelor's degree from LSU. He is employed at Powers Remodeling as an engineer. Again, I'd be requesting cinch bond for Mr. Lagarde, or in lieu of that, a no bond. Again, I remind the court at this time that these are just allegations.
All right, I'm going to order a $3,000 surety bond. I'm going to order a stay away from 3648 Peachtree Road. I assume that is not where the defendant lives.
That is his address.
That is his address. And that is the incident location as well?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I won't order the stay away, but certainly with no further contact with the victim, Michael Martin. And we're going to check all the boxes on the bond so that there will be no further contact. You're not to come within 200 yards of him. There's to be no contact with social media, phone, email, third parties, the whole gamut of what no contact means. Yes.
Excuse me, really quickly, Your Honor. So the defendant and Mr. Michael Martin live together at this location. So that's why the state is asking for the stay away as well as the no further contact, especially considering this just happened yesterday.
Right. There has certainly not been the ample cooling down period. So let me go back and say that there will be a stay away for Mr. Lagarde, our Lagarde. Stay away. You can get a one-time law enforcement escort to return back to the property to get his items with a law enforcement escort. No further contact with Mr. Martin in any manner. I guess that's all out order at this point. I'm not for sure that your attorney is going to want you to ask a question, Mr. Lagarde, unless it's regarding the bond conditions, but Mr. Coleman can advise you. He has his hand up with the question.
What is your question, sir? As long as it doesn't have anything to do with the facts of the case.
I was saying, can I try to get a signature bond, because the only person that could basically bond me out would be Michael, because I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So the only way I could get out is I don't have no family here but him.
she's not granting you a signature bond, but you did give me a number of Miss Gaither, so I will call her and see if she can arrange to, for someone to post the bond.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Position number 2.
Okay, this is 23 CR 003854B. Skylar Cochran, charged with 1 count of loitering, prowling, pre-trial.
10 total. Last arrest was on the 5th of this month. Criminal damage to property. 2017 possession of a controlled substance conviction. 2015 burglary of a vehicle conviction. 2015 use of a firearm by a convicted felon. Possession of a controlled substance conviction. 2013 terrorist threats conviction. Also, it says hoax bombs conviction. 2013 unlawful carrying of a weapon conviction.
All right, State.
Yes, Your Honor. So this incident occurred yesterday at 2186 Lenox Road, and it was at apartment A. And this is where Miss Chambria Show, well, this is where the defendant came to Miss Chambria Show's door. He knocked on it and then tried to enter the apartment by checking the door handle to see if the door was unlocked. Miss Show caught the incident on her doorbell camera. And so when officers arrived and while they were talking to her, she was able to point out the defendant from across the street from her residence. Our victim witness advocate was able to speak to Miss Shaw this morning, and she said that this was the first time she had ever seen the defendant. And she said when he came to her apartment, she was home alone and she had heard someone knock on the door and then try to enter her home. She said she then checked her Ring camera and she saw the defendant trying to come into her apartment. And she also let us know that while she was talking to the police, when she was able to spot the defendant, he was trying to get into other people's homes in that apartment complex, Your Honor. So for these reasons, the state's recommendation is a $1,000 surety bond. We're asking for no further contact with Ms. Scholl and to stay away from 2186 Lenox Road, the entire apartment complex, as well as no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. And Ms. Scholl did let us know, she let us know that she was not going to be able to get on Zoom, but in case she changed her mind, I would still like to sound for her.
All right, is that Miss Scholl, SHOAL?
SHOLL.
Okay. Miss Scholl, is she on the Zoom? Do you have the name by chance of the whole complex?
No, I can do a Google search really quickly for the name of it.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Coleman, while she's doing that.
Your Honor, I'd be requesting a signature bond on low bond for Mr. Cochran. This is a nonviolent defense which he is before the court on today. He is 26 years of age. He does reside here in Atlanta, Fulton County. Mr. Cochran is a high school graduate. However, he is not employed, therefore he has no money to post a bond. Again, I'd be requesting a signature bond on low bond for Mr. Cochran.
Okay.
Those, Your Honor, those apartments, I believe, is the Camden Midtown Atlanta.
Okay. All right. I am concerned a little about the history of Mr. Cochran. He was just arrested on June 5th. He's got a 2015. I am going to order the $1,000 surety bond. I am going to order a stay away from the Camden Midtown Apartments complex, the whole complex. Stay away from there, because I'm assuming he doesn't live there, as well as the 2186 Lennox Road, Apartment A. I'm going to order no further contact with Ms. Scholl. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. That will be it for now.
Position 11.
This is 23 CR 003860J. Maurice Spigner, I believe, if I'm not mispronouncing his last name, charged with 1 count of simple battery, family violence, pretrial.
14 total. Last arrest was 2018, battery, trespass. Appears to be on probation for ag battery. Case number 12 SC 115733. September 2013, they gave him 2 years to serve, 8 years probation. 2018, battery DV trespass, that was dismissed. Obstruction was not prosecuted. That's it.
All right, state. You're on mute.
Sorry about that. In
It's
this
okay.
case, the defendant is charged with simple battery, family violence. Law enforcement was dispatched to the incident location, 88 Little Street. They did speak with the victim, Ms. Karen Gale. She advised to the officer that the father of her child, the defendant, became irate because he wanted to use her car. She did not allow him to. Initially, the defendant locked the victim out of her home. He eventually let her back in, but when he let her back in, he began to punch and kick her in her stomach. This did occur in front of their son. Due to the defendant's history, the state is asking for a $3,500 surety. No further contact with the victim, Ms. Karen Cole, and to stay away from the incident location, 88 Little Street.
All right. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Spinner is 37 years old. He was born in New York. However, he has been here in Georgia for more than 20 years, and he does have 2 boys with Miss Karen Gale. Your Honor, my client says that they have settled this case at civil action court. This happened on April 4, 2022, which is more than a year ago. They resolved this issue. He paid for all the things that there was any kind of damages. They are fine with each other. As of now, he's self-employed as a writer and comedian. And yet, about 3 days ago, he basically had a theft, lost almost everything that he had in terms of like wallet, ID, and all that kind of stuff. So when he was filing a police report, that's when he was arrested on Friday. So we would like to request for a signature on bond, considering the fact that there are other charges in felony court that he's not going anywhere, Your Honor. He has a bachelor's degree from Atlanta Tech and Georgia State. He studied business management, and he has been very involved in the community service. And last offense that he had was more than 10 years ago. It has been very remote. He would like to be considered for signature on bond for this particular case. Thank you.
Okay.
Please, Mr. Speaker, I strongly recommend you to stay silent. You have a right to remain silent.
Mr. Walker, what was the state's recommendation again?
It was a $3,500 surety. And no contact with the victim and to stay away from the incident location.
And so do we understand they do not reside there together?
That is correct. It's the victim's home. He did come over to that location. So they do not reside together, but the child does live with the mother or the victim in this case.
Okay. All right, I'm going to order this $3,500 surety bond. I'm going to order no further contact with the victim, Karen Gale. I'm going to order a stay away from 88 Little Street. And if there's any visitation allowed, it must be conducted through third parties or a third party. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I guess that'll be it for now. I think your client still has a question, PD Kim.
Please feel free to call me. I'll be happy to explain. And yet, unless it is directly related to the bond condition or bond amount, please do not say anything.
Me and my child's mother, we're in family counseling, and we've been going to family counseling for the last year. We have our child's birthday this month. We and her we're on really good terms. I pay her rent. So me being incarcerated and not having any money, she won't be able to survive or take care of my child at all.
Well, the only thought I have on that is that this incident did occur, was it April the 4th of last year?
That it did occur last year, Your Honor.
We went to a family court and they had me pay the last month of rent that she was upset about at the place where we shared residence, because I lived there too. I have bills, I have mail, I have everything that showed I proved I lived there. She's bipolar and manic depressive, and she was having a manic episode.
So you live at 88 Little Street now?
No, we were living there together.
Oh, okay. You don't live there anymore. Okay.
But I still pay and provide for all her bills and provide for my child's schooling and babysit while she's at work.
So you're paying child support?
No,
essentially.
Basically, I just pay her rent. I just take care of her. I take care of her and my child. We're not living together. I just take care of her.
Well, my only response to that is that's odd, because I see that she took out a warrant application for you just last year, and I would assume it's probably for child support. So, and I think you said that you were ordered to pay the last month's rent. So
that was for damages for when I did go in the house. All my stuff was on.
Please, we don't have to go into.
I'm showing a warrant application, and beyond that, we did have contact with the victim, and she did say this occurred a year ago, but she also told our office that the two do have a history of domestic violence, and perhaps that's why they are in counseling. But because he's been convicted of aggravated battery or aggravated assault, was on felony probation, he has this open case, and per the victim, they do have a history of domestic violence. And the only reason why he was picked up on this warrant is because he was picked up on another felony case, which I understand is separate. But his history speaks for itself.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with the state. So I'm going to continue with the surety bond at this time. All right. That will conclude this case.
Position number 6, bond was posted during court, so it's not gonna argue for his waiver, presence.
I may have to, you said 6 bonded out, and what was?
I was saying that because he waived his appearance, I said we may not have to argue for that now because his bond was just posted.
Okay.
To the lieutenant.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
And are we done?
I think so.
Oh, we're such,
I don't
I'm
think we
so
have
in
anybody else
shock. I'm so in shock.
before 3 o'clock.
I should get a reward today, correct? Pre-trial?
Correct.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that I
Pre-trial said
hear
it was give me an award, yes.
position 8, James Aaron, did he bond out? Or is that a reset? I'm sorry.
8 is
Reset.
medical reset till Monday.
Okay.
Okay. ASG Bickerstaff wanted me to have one more case, but I do not. So, so Miss Strong, when you're ready, we can reconcile.
Position number 1 was reset medical. He'll be reset to Monday. Position number 2 was a $1,000 good bond, be reset for June the 29th. Position number 3 was a $10,000 good bond, reset for June the 29th. Position number 4 was a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial per judge. Position number 5, $3,000 good bond, reset for June the 29th. Position number 6 was released. Position number 7 was a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. Position number 8 was a reset medical, will be reset till Monday. Position number 9 was a $3,000 good bond, reset for June the 29th. Position number 10 was a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial per judge. Position number 11 was a $3,500 good bond, reset for June the 29th. Position number 12 was released, and position number 13 was a $3,000 good bond, reset for June the 29th.
All right, you all can get started on your long weekend.
Thank you.
All right, everybody have a good weekend. Good to see you, Mr. Coleman. You're
You
muted.
too, Miss Mincy.
All right, haven't seen you in a while. All
All right, have a good weekend.
right, you all take care. All right,
Bye.
bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.